Hello and welcome back, most illustrious members of the Detail. I'm your host D, also known as MTF Doom, and today we're going to talk about how there is no honor in war and we should all just be silly little guys. I hope you enjoy. So, the deck to my right, you probably recognize is one of my favorite decks. If we're being totally honest with ourselves, this is maybe my favorite deck ever. And it has a problem. And the problem is that it's really, really fair. And that sounds kind of bad, right? Like, it sounds kind of like, well, yeah, you want, don't you want to play fair? Don't you not want to be a cheating prick? And I'm like this in Magic the Gathering as well, and I'm realizing that after yesterday's deck, and I put a poll up on what everyone's favorite gotcha card is, and I talked about it in Discord, how I think it's what's been holding me back in a big way. I love this Bishop deck. I love fairly putting it out on 3, not trying to like do anything tricksy with it, and just building Bishop up from a 3-1 to like a 3-12, and playing like an overstated Maximus on turn 6, and playing like the Hood, and then eating it with Carnage, and maybe even a Mysterio clone. And now Carnage is a 2-6, and Hood is a 2-6 because you paid 1 for the Hood, but then you paid 1 for the Demon, and you wring all the value out of this deck. It's like a towel, and you're just, Rah! But there's a problem. And that's like, your opponent knows what you're doing. You're not hiding anything. And so when turn 4 and 5 come around and you just like are way ahead on board, and like they know what you're doing. You're playing a bunch of overstated stuff. Well, like, they know they can win, or they know they're going to lose. Like, there's nothing here. You know, Shang sometimes changes like how the game plays out, sometimes, not that often. Killmonger, sometimes, you know, you get your own Hood, get your own Nova. But even that, if you play out Nova, like, your opponent knows you're going to try to destroy it. They might not know it's Killmonger. They might put it as a Carnage. But they know fundamentally that what you're going to try to do is destroy Nova. And so while this deck is quite good in a lot of ways, it's also, like, too fair for its own good. And I play Jund when I play Magic. I love, like, Jund. I play, like, a Mardu deck that's just, like, value-oriented. It's not trying to combo off. It's not trying to do anything except play big stats and efficient removal and whatever. And that's a problem. And yesterday's deck showed me that, because I've had way more success with that deck. And I say that we have to embrace silly little guys. This isn't a deck. This is just an example of a bunch of different silly little guys. I would not play this as a deck. You will lose a lot of cubes. The point is that more and more we have to, you really have to embrace cards that your opponent's like, why the fuck? Why did they just play that? What the, like, the amount of times I've lost to my opponent playing a card that I kind of laughed at them playing, like, wow, you're playing that card right now. But then I end up losing because I'm like, oh yeah, like, because I couldn't play around that stupid card. The number one is Arrow. Like, the reason Arrow is so popular is because she's really, really easy to play. Like she's the easiest way to disrupt your opponent, even if your opponent kind of sees it coming. They don't always have a way to get around it, but ultimately, like, you don't have to put a lot of thought into, like, your Arrow plays in general. So I think that's why she sees the most play. But, like, any of these cards, right? If your opponent, if I'm playing that other deck, right? I'm playing that Bishop deck, and my opponent's like, okay, well, they can do, like, you know, Maximus is going to be 7. That'll add 1 to Bishop. They might go Mysterio. That'll add 3 to Bishop, and it's 4 more. So here's, like, sort of the big total number. If instead one of those cards is Mojo, and they're like, okay, you know, they got 1 slot over there. It can be, you know, however much. It can be Maximus. And they don't put you on being able to put 8 power there because they put you on Maximus at 7 power. And then you both fill and you win because Mojo isn't Maximus, it's Mojo. You're going to win more, right? Like it's harder to do. It's harder to play Mojo correctly than it is to play Maximus. But also, it's less, you're you're embracing the sneakiness, and you really have to in this game to get any like big cube wins. I've gotten more 4 and 8 cube wins with this stupid Heimdall deck from yesterday. Oh, not this one. That was another variant I was trying. This stupid Heimdall deck than I've gotten in quite a long time. And I guess this video is just like, it's so interesting, because the more I learn and the better I get, the lower my rank goes. And I think it's a big part is because you have to like test, you have to get better at things. So like I'm only in the 60s this season, as opposed to like the 80s and 90s last season, and like 114 this season before that. But it feels really nice learning this stuff and actually being able to get better at it. And so that's it. That's today's video. I encourage you all. I put up a poll. I'd love to hear more responses. We had some really good ones, some of which I haven't included. I know Heimdall is what started all this, and Scarlet Witch was the other big one of like, no, play Scarlet Witch, you fucking idiot, which is fair enough. I should have been playing Scarlet Witch, but I think you got to play more cards that your opponent just doesn't see coming. They just don't, they're not putting you on, you know, having it. They just don't think you got it. They plumb don't think you got it. And then if you got it, you get more cubes. Embrace not playing fair. Embrace being tricksy and silly and goofy, and not letting your opponent, you know, never let them know your next move, right? It's that, but for Marvel Snap. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you find this content elucidating, enlightening, or enriching. If you do, the best way to let me know is with a subscription and a Discord join. It works. It's silly, but it works. When you ask people to join Discord, they do. It happened a bunch of times yesterday because I finally remembered to ask again, and I had a bunch of people join Discord and literally go, yeah, I don't know, you asked in the video today, so I joined Discord. That was it. I'm not even really a fan. You're kind of a dick. No, they didn't say that part. But yeah, so join the Discord, subscribe down below. It costs you nothing, and it helps the channel grow and reach more people. And hopefully you also want that because you find some value in what I'm doing and you want other people to have that same experience. So I hope you had a great day. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all tomorrow.